Hi everyone, let's go over example 2 from the 14-1 classwork. So example 2 is not too different than the first example. The difference is that we are going to probably have more we need to factor. So again, we cannot divide by 0. We need to check for excluded values of x that make the denominator equal to 0. So this is a denominator and this is a denominator. So this is going to make us factor. We're going to have to do some factoring. Step 1, factor the numerator, the top, and the denominator, the bottom. And anytime we're factoring, it helps if we can find a GCF in the beginning. It makes numbers smaller so that factoring is easier. So let's go ahead and do step 1. So I have 2x minus 8, and there is a GCF there. I could take out a 2 so that it's x squared minus 4. On the denominator for the first one, we got x squared minus 1. I'm looking at that and I immediately see it's a difference of squares. So it's going to be x minus 1 times x plus 1. For the numerator of the second part, this is x squared plus 2x plus 1. That's going to factor out into x plus 1 and x plus 1. And on the bottom here, I see they all have x's, so there's a GCF of x I can take out so that it becomes x times x squared minus x minus 2. So far we've factored some things, we factored out some GCFs, but if there are things where I can keep factoring, then I want to do that. So like for example, what I mean by that is if I look over here, this is a difference of squares. So x squared minus 4 is x minus 2 times x plus 2. On the bottom, I can't factor that more, so I'm just going to rewrite it as is. Same thing for the top on the right, x plus 1, x plus 1. This one I can keep factoring out. That's going to factor into x minus 2 times x plus 1. So now let's move on to step number 2. Identify the restrictions on the variable, set the denominator equal to 0, and isolate the variable. So I need to think about, well, what are all the things that are considered my denominators here? What am I dividing by? This is the denominator, and this is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factors, but some of them are the same. So like, I see, what do I see that's the same? X plus 1. These are the same, so I don't need to set them equal to 0 twice. I could just do it once. So that means x plus 1 cannot equal to 0, or I would end up dividing by 0. And then x cannot equal negative 1. Let's also look at this one. X minus 1 cannot equal 0. And then if I solve this, that means x cannot equal 1. We also have x here, that's its own factor. X cannot equal 0. And then the last factor that is in the denominator is x minus 2 cannot equal 0. So then if I solve that one, I will get x cannot equal 2. So those are all my restricted values. So I've actually sort of already done part of step 4. And I sort of skipped step 3, but that's okay. We can kind of do it interchangeably. Step 3, divide out common factors. Identify restricted values using the original rational expression. So we've already identified those restricted values. Now we need to also divide out common factors. So when I say that, I mean something that's the same on the top and the bottom. So when I look at this here, what is the same that's on the top and the bottom? I see x minus 2 on the top and the bottom, so those are going to reduce to 1. I see x plus 1 and x plus 1. I see another x plus 1 and x plus 1. And is there anything that I am missing? So if there's nothing else I see that's the same on the top and the bottom, then now I'm just going to copy down what I have left over. What I have left over is this 2 on the top, the x plus 2, the x minus 1, and the x. So my simplified answer is 2 times x plus 2, and then x times x minus 1. So we have our simplified expression, and we also have our restricted values. And when we write our solution, our simplified expression, we need to have both things. We have to have this simplified form here, and we have to include our restricted values.